Hello and welcome to Fan Formula from the aftermath of the British Grand Prix, which was an absolutely amazing race once again. Brilliant. Um, Probably the best race of the year so far. The best one I've seen anyway. And it's absolutely great. Obviously a lot of interesting moments, a lot of different things happening. A lot of worrying things, but a lot of good things as well. And definitely, and most importantly, some absolutely brilliant racing from a lot of people out there. Tight racing, overtakes. Um, some really close calls out there. Some very almost big incidents as well, and of course this whole big tyre rumble keeps going on and took a different turn this week. So come with the questions, and question one is: with Mercedes now lying second in the constructors' championship, do you think they can take the fight to Red Bull for the title? Well, if you look at the two drivers that they've got, and in comparison to the Red Bull drivers, you think they've definitely got a chance. They're both, especially have just shown in Monaco and in Silverstone today. They've definitely got the pace now in the races as well as on the in the qualifying to definitely push the Red Bulls. And I think it's going to be a close run thing throughout the whole season now. They're both in Rosberg and Hamilton quite close in performance at the moment. Of course, Hamilton's been moving there and he seems to be getting the hang of the car a bit better now. And Rosberg, with 2 wins this season, shows he's definitely got the pace to show to push. Can he even win the Drivers' Championship? Probably not, because Vettel still has got that Red Bull and he's still going to be pushing for wins almost every race. But definitely for the Constructors' Championship, they could definitely go for that. And I think it's very possible that they probably will win it this year. I mean, Ferrari, even though they had a really good race in the end, with getting some really good points at the end of the race, they can they do it consistently enough? I mean, in qualifying, they was really poor this weekend. McLaren are nowhere, and Lotus Grosjean seems to be having. Is he going to score many podiums? Probably not. And even though Kimi will just keep on getting points, you can't see him really getting as many as Red Bull. So I think you could safely say Mercedes are the closest team to Red Bull at the moment. So it'll be an interesting fight to watch how that develops. What is your view on the tyre situation from today's race and moving forward? Obviously, the whole 4 blowouts, it's a very worrying thing, especially when you look at how close some of the cars following him in. Alonso's right behind, who was it, Perez, when his tyre went, and that was, you don't want rubber flying towards your helmet like that. It's quite scary, but we don't know what the factors are in that. Was it to do with the track? Was it a bit of curb that was causing damage? Was it? I mean, originally at the beginning I thought maybe because of Webber's damage in the first call and maybe a bit of debris on the track that could have been hitting that and causing it. But obviously, the way that was going, and it's quite scary really. But overall, apart from that fact, the tyres really handled pretty well today. And the fact of the matter is, I'm getting really tired of this whole tyre gate and tyre situation thing. It's the same for all the teams with the same tyres. They work better for some teams than the other teams, obviously, but it's making the tyres work is part of Formula 1. And I'm really tired of all this talk about it now, to be honest. I don't turn into Formula 1 for a political discussion or courtroom proceedings or tribunal. I tune into Formula 1 for 2 hours of motorsport on the weekend, and that's the most important thing. I don't really want to sit through all these stupid talks about tyres all the time. They seem to work well today. I know the hard and the medium tyres seem to have get the better use out of them. But let's just see how it moves forward. I think this year, let's not change it. Let's keep going. They'll work better at some tracks than the other tracks. Obviously, we don't want to see the big blow-ups that we did today, but obviously it's a one-off thing, and you haven't seen that really throughout the season. I think it's happened probably once or twice, maybe the whole season, and you will get them have it 4 times at that circuit, very unlucky. And obviously, there is an underlying factor to that, but Pirelli will do their own review and investigation into that, and I'm sure what they'll find out, they can make amends for the next race, and obviously it's something that happened, but no one was seriously injured. It was a bit frightening for a few people, but let's move forward and see what happens. I'm sure it's nothing to be too worried about. What was your favourite in-track battle to watch? There's a lot, wasn't there? There's quite a few battles, of course. The rest are coming up through the pack, as did Massa and Hamilton as well. Some good battles towards the front as well. Alonso having battles with Kimi and of course, but my favourite battle of the day was actually Paul Di Resta and Hamilton about lap 38, I think it was. For half a lap, even though Di Resta had all the tyres and he was really fighting with Hamilton, and it was a great proper duel. And actually, that type of racing shows that Di Resta does have the quality, even though he seems to have a very lot of knockers and people, talking him down and that. But the fact is that he's a good racer, and he's shown it this year that he's definitely at the pace, and he's been pushing his car, even if the team are letting him down a lot, which they are, and I'm starting to feel sorry for him now because I think he was like 5th before the race. I'm not sure where he is in this championship now, so around that position. He's got a car under him there. They can probably fight it out for 5th place every race, and I think he's got the capability to do that. And I think Di Resta is a good driver, and considering if you look how Perez and the likes, maybe Kimi moving on this year, and maybe another driver at Ferrari, he's got to be in contention for those drives. Personally, I'd like to see Ricciardo get the drive at Red Bull, because today he's shown in qualifying in the race that he's got the pace. And I've liked both of the Toro Rosso drivers throughout the season, and towards the end of last season as well. I reckon both got good drive craft, and they do have a tendency to promote their own drivers within Red Bull, and I'd like to see them have a chance, and especially Ricciardo, because I really think he's got something about him that could, maybe not into a world champion, but easily to a number 2 driver towards Vettel if he stays there. So, yeah. Bonus, driver of the day and why. Well, there's a few great performances out there. I mean, Alonso, the last few laps were brilliant. Di Resta coming through from the very back of the pack to finish where he was excellent. Rosberg drove a flawless race to end up being gifted the win perhaps, but you have to be there to take the points when they come to you. But my driver of the day has to probably Lewis Hamilton. I mean, leading comfortably out in front, he has the blowout, back of the grid, he fights through, and the last few laps he was gaining on Massa there at the end, or Alonso at the end there, and give it another 10 laps, he may have even come back to win the race. Even though Webber had the good wheels behind him, and I think Webber probably, if we got one more lap, Webber probably would have took the first place in that race. Even though, as we speak, there is an investigation going on to Rosberg over ignoring yellow flags or something, which I'm not sure how that'll pan out, but we have to wait and see about that. But yeah, Lewis Hamilton was my driver of the day personally, because I think he drove an excellent race. As for Vettel, a gearbox problem, I can't help but say I was very delighted when he went out. I've said what I thought about Vettel before in a previous video against China. The main reason I don't want no one winning away the title. This is a semi-rant, semi-description, but I've never really been a one driver or one team or supported one. I've always been pretty neutral, much like Vettel's gearbox in the race. And yeah, even this year with my main team, McLaren doing poorly, I'm not really getting behind one driver. I just want to see good racing. That's what I want to see out there. And a lot of people get very angry on Twitter and stuff, and people very much back their own single drivers. And I've got cramp in my foot. And yeah, I understand where people, but I come from a position where Formula 1 is my second sport, my first sport is football, so I don't want to get all my heart and hope and interest into one driver or one team, because it's hard enough being a football fan, and quite frankly I don't have that again. I just want to see, there's got my favourite drivers. So I like to see Webber and Ricciardo, and the English and British drivers do pretty well. I like to see them do well. I like to see some of the lesser drivers who I think are deserving, who have good racecraft and do themselves good on the show themselves in a good light to do well as well. So when the Vettel went out, it's not just that I don't want him winning away the title. I want to see the racing go to the last race of the season. At the moment, Vettel's kind of like being almost not gifted, but it's been pushed away at the front. Other teams are letting themselves down, and we don't want to see that. We want to see close racing. We want to see a close championship again. and we don't want to see people run away with it. And um, I think the way the season is going, it looks very much like I can't see anyone else sort of challenging. Really, I mean, the other teams there and thereabout, but it's the Red Bull Vettel partnership. It's just that one step a bit too far, isn't it, to catch? Um, Obviously, it'll be different next year, but we'll wait and see. So, um, what else is there to say about that? The rest is penalty. What was that all about? I don't get how the team could. It seems that, I don't know how you. It's just a stupid thing. You shouldn't let that kind of thing happen. Really, it's a rookie mistake, and the teams let the drivers down a bit this year. Um, and anything else? I don't know. No, probably not. Yeah, whatever. So I'm enjoying the sunshine today. I've pretty much only short the race, and that was it. I pretty much turned off after that. And it was a really good race, and I really enjoyed it, and hopefully more the same. Nürburgring next up, another great circuit, one that I'd like to watch. Not many overtaking opportunities really, but with the way the tyres are, and the way even today where people are overtaking in places where you think is quite risky, or on the outside sides of corners. Anything can happen at the Formula at the moment, and it's what you want to see. So I'll be quite interested in. It's only a week away as well, which is great. So I'll be waiting patiently for that race, and hopefully we have another corker, because it's what it's been today. That's the most important thing, really. The race has been brilliant, great wheel-to-wheel racing, and a few safety cars along the way. And in the end, everyone seemed to come away happy, apart from Vettel. So we all quids in, really, didn't we? So without further ado, I bid you goodbye. See you soon, and adios.